Hello. Hey, my name is James, and I'm a grateful person in recovery from addiction. And this is Sloth. Goonies 2 is coming out. I hope you guys know this. And this is Sloth. This is my live stream addiction recovery podcast every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you or a loved one suffers from the disease, the disorder, the diabolical demon addiction. Tonight we're going to talk about triggers in substance abuse disorder, what they are, and what have you. Hey, Lynn B. Hey, Antonio. You might want to type your comments again, as they said once. They pronounced again. Let me let my dog in. She's being annoying. Well, it's good to see you, and it's good to be seen. I am in recovery. It's been about a year and a half since my last relapse on alcoholism, other drugs, addiction. I've been on cloud nine. I've been on a pink cloud. But what happens when there's triggers that trigger emotions that then in turn trigger old behaviors, letting floodgates open to people, places, and things, to a full-blown relapse? That's what we're going to talk about tonight, unless anybody has a burning desire. Does anyone have a burning desire? Is what they ask when if you don't know my story, the short version is this. I am a recovering alcoholic. I use Alcoholics Anonymous to maintain my sobriety. Antonio, I'm a sober bartender in a big city in the East Coast, Antonio says. Everything is a trigger, LOL. Biggest trigger is getting off work, but I always have the willpower to just go home instead of out with coworkers. Antonio, good for you. I just ran into a sober bartender. I've known him for 10 years now, and he apparently is sober, and it's not unbelievable. Alcoholism, in my opinion, is a spectrum, and it exists. People recover in all different paths. Sigma, how you doing, Noah? I've lost two of my friends this week. One friend just cut me off for no reason. The other just cut me off because I stole bottles of booze from him. I understand, though, that's messed up. What's up, Adam? Adam Schumacher. Adam, you from 518, son? I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry for your loss. Noah? This is where you would work a fourth step, and then in turn a fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth, making amends to your friends. And getting the bends, you understands? How's the sound on my microphone? Can somebody tell me this? Because the last stream was a disaster, and I'm about to warm it up, Chris. I'm about to warm it up, Chris. That's what I was born to do. Warm it up, Chris. I'm about to warm it up, Chris. That's what I was born to do. Antonio says I had to cut off a friend this week. It sucks. I told him if he ever wants to get better, I'll help him. But he still isn't taking accountability for his alcoholism. The 12 steps work, guys. It is frustrating to watch people not listen to me when I tell them how to live their life. No, it really is. Antonio, I hear a lot of this in the rooms. Controlling other people, we can't do it. I can't get you drunk and I can't get you sober. You can't get me drunk and you can't get me sober. It's the nature of the beast, and, it's very unfortunate, of course, but this is why we talk about it and learn about it and practice recovery. Recovery principles. Talk about things like triggers. Triggers for me, like was said earlier, what isn't a trigger? Emotions are triggers. So anything that sparks an emotion, whether it's music, whether it's sex appeal, whether it's desire, a burning desire. Man, so you could say there's triggers in my current job. I picked a alcoholic up at a crack house, and they were partying and drinking, and he was drinking and chugging. And before I took him to detox, and you could say that's a trigger. In my experience, when my recovery is solid through practicing the principles and program of Alcoholics Anonymous, a day at a time, I wasn't triggered at all. Now, nicotine, on the other hand, is another story. If I so happen to look at a pack of cigarettes, I will probably be smoking one of them within 10 to 20 seconds. And I don't fancy myself a smoker. I don't want to be a vapor. I don't want to be a smoker, but I am triggered when I see cigarettes or smell it or somebody lights it or even watch it on a movie. That's a trigger. The trigger triggers an emotion. The triggers emotions in me, and the emotions trigger the behavior. So, did anyone happen to, how's the sound? Can somebody just tell me real quick how the sound is? I'm obsessed with the sound, I know. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. See, I need to get a sound man. I wish I had Sloth as my sound man. Sloth as my sound man, bing bong booms. That's the name of the novel I have yet to write. Sound check 1 2. Hey, you guys. Sound check 1 2. Hey, you guys. I'm silly. I've been staying out of trouble as trouble goes in this alcoholics world, but there has been some light trouble. There has been some light trouble, but nothing compared to the trouble that I'm sure you all have encountered as well in your... I know I have. Sigma says, well, don't be sorry, it's my problem. Alcohol seems not addictive because it's a liquid, not a powder. It's weird, like conveniences me every time. It's okay because it's liquid. This is a funny thing that you would share that in a meeting and people would laugh and nod their heads like, yeah, we do come up with the craziest ideas to justify our drinking. Well, this is a liquid, not a powder. What's wrong with you, man? This is a liquid, not a powder. Alcohol is the most dangerous drug on planet Earth. Numbers don't lie. It kills more people than all other drugs combined yearly. Alcohol is a drug. So is Tylenol. So is caffeine. The jury's still out on sugar, but I'm sure I'll learn someday whether or not sugar's a drug. But everything from nicotine, benzodiazepines, caffeine, fluoxetine, they're all drugs. I've heard it said that the difference between a drug and a medicine is the dose. A difference between the drug addiction and a medicine is the dose. Mind's Eye says breast milk is a liquid. Look where that got us. Where did it get us? I've been drinking milk, and I like it. I am a milk fan. Antonio says exactly, no one can help you until you want help. Until you need help, bro. I wanted help long before I needed to get it, and in turn went to get it. That's why it's called the gift of desperation. When you hit a bottom you cannot stand, you need help. It's not that you want it, because I wanted to stop drinking long before I needed to, and long before I did. Mike Tucker, Sloth says hello. Sloth says, hey, you Mike Tucker guy. Hey, you Mike Tucker guy. Mike, how does my sound? The last stream was very essy. It was very essy. I didn't know almonds had breasts. We're talking about triggers and the like tonight, Mike Tucker. Do you have any personal triggers that I'll tell you a couple of mine. Bourbon commercials. I mean, that's goes without saying. It's designed to trigger a response in the viewer, but it triggers a response in me. I'll tell you what I do. I change the channel, or I look away. I cast my eyes away, because I'm not fucking with that thing. I'm not messing with that. Dare myself to watch it, and I am not messing with it. My recovery is great, but I'm not going to watch it just to like tug on the lion's tail or tug on Superman's cape. Which I never understood that analogy. It would be worse to tug on Batman's cape. If you tugged on Superman's cape, he'd be like, well, hey there, little fella. That's mine. That's my cape. But I tell you what, how about I fly you around the earth 5 times in 1 second, and we'll call it even. And Batman would be like, I'm Batman. You don't be touching my cape, son. I am the knight. You don't want to be tugging on Batman's cape. But you don't want to be pulling a lion's tail, and you don't want to be watching a bourbon commercial either if you're an alcoholic. If you're allergic to being eaten by lions, you don't want to be tugging on a lion's tail. You will have a severe allergic reaction if you tug on a lion's tail and you happen to be allergic to being eaten by lions. You will have a severe allergic reaction. The same thing will happen if you tug on the lion's tail by means of watching a bourbon commercial for this alcoholic. That's one of my triggers. A trigger for smoking is watching anybody smoke. Or, as I found out a couple days ago, just seeing a pack of cigarettes. If someone offers me a cigarette, it's over. And I don't smoke. I don't buy cigarettes. I try to use these nicotine tablets. Lynn B, 3 months no alcohol. Excellent, Lynn B. You must be doing something right one day at a time. So now you can, if someone comes to you and says, wow, Lynn B, you were a disgusting drunk, and how have you not drank in 3 months? You can be like, here's how I did it. You can do it too. Death don't scare me no more. Pain don't hurt. Name that movie. Pain don't hurt. May the God of your understanding bless you all. 3-day, no alcohol. James Horn, you're about over the hump. Good for you. You're about over the physical part of withdrawals, or you're actually, depending on how much you drank. I had a seizure I had one seizure that I know of from alcohol withdrawal in my life, and it happened on the 3rd day without alcohol. Don't be scared. I also may have had a concussion, and I was on a ton of benzos as well. So I was withdrawing from benzos and alcohol, and I think I had a concussion. but I had a seizure and I was drinking. I don't know how much you drank, but I drank a lot. So the seizures, the DTs and stuff like that, how do you feel, James? I'm really happy. I just got back from my home group and I happened to be I took the meeting to a detox center this past Sunday, and there was somebody in detox that asked me what my home group is, and that he is planning on stepping out of detox into AA. And that is wonderful news. However, you hear it a lot. I've said it before and not gone myself, but you hear it a lot and you don't end up seeing them follow up because that's the nature of the disease. They really, truly meant it when they said they were going to come, but days go by and they don't. So I happened to see a guy at my home group that found that meeting through something that I did. Hey, Hillary May. So a guy from a detox center made it on his own or God's will to my home group AA meeting because I was there to give him the information. And that is the kind of stuff in recovery that I'm learning to live for. How you doing, Hillbill? Sigma Noah asks if I like benzos or alcohol more. Bro, I hate them both. Lynn B says, I had seizures during one withdrawal. It happened like 6 hours after my last drink. I had like 8 of them in a row. It was so scary, I started praying. Hey, there's Mikey in the background, everybody. Yeah, seizures scary. I think I told the story of mine before, but if you'd like to hear it, I'd tell it again. What's up, Miss hashtag Holly Ford? And Miss Hillary May. We're talking about triggers. Now, some of the people on this stream, no doubt, not everybody here is an alcoholic, or not everybody here is the same. But I think we all have triggers when it comes to emotions. Certain songs may trigger an emotion because you and your mom, your late mom, used to listen to that song when you were gardening. And you might trigger an emotion, and that emotion might trigger an obsession to medicate with your drug of choice. Triggers. So triggers aren't just unique to the addiction community. Triggers happen in people all the time. This man was triggered on Wall Street today when his, 401k tumbled. He was triggered to step off this building. Triggered to suicide. So the thought is the trigger, but do you have to... So cognitive behavioral therapy suggests that thoughts are random. We can't control thoughts. We're human. We got thoughts. They're random. Our feelings about the thought are within our control. Our feelings, our perception about the thought. Noah says, I'm obsessed. My mind, killing my mind. Lynn B, Miss Ford, you, I don't know if you heard, but Lynn B's got 3 months without a drink. Lynn B says, I used to be triggered by seeing people drinking wine in movies. Word. I get triggered when businessmen drink bourbon in their office. Although I've never been a businessman, I've never had an office, and I drank bourbon, occasionally. But for some reason, that's my trigger. Lynn B gets triggered when they drink wine in movies. Don't give up before the miracle happens, Antonio. Damn straight. And then when the miracle happens, you won't want to give up. That's how that works. And it does work if you work it. Guilty as charged. I think you said 3 months, right, Lynn B? I don't want to get it wrong, but 3 months, that's 90 days and 90 long nights for the alcoholic that is just learning how to navigate, how to live, and how to be a human being without alcohol. So good for you, Lynn B. Good for you. Maybe this was just me, Noah says, but hard alcohol never got me feeling as intoxicated as beer or wine would. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. You got your friend to stop talking to you. Debbie Downer. Wah, 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 wah. Lynn B stopped March 5th. You know, it's not about time, but time does help us understand our own recovery journey, and it helps anybody that comes to you for help with stopping drinking. It helps them understand that it does work. Whatever you're doing, Lynn B, one day at a time, is working. Now, white knuckling works. You know, just hanging on by the skin of your teeth and not drinking 1 hour at a time. Sure, it works, but it runs out. It's said in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous that there will come a time in every alcoholic's recovery, sobriety, when the only thing between him and the next drink is God or a higher power like the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. So white knuckling only works for a certain amount of time. What you're doing now, Lynn B, sharing with other addicts and alcoholics and taking in what we share with you is recovery. You're expanding your recovery. You're growing in recovery. You're not stunting your growth by drinking or using other deadly drugs. So you are learning. You're experiencing pain and anguish, no doubt. Noah, you're experiencing loss and pain and anguish. You're not going to be able to grow. You're not going to be able to grow from it if you drink. If you continue to drink, you just don't grow. You're numbing your emotions. You're numbing your pain, and you're not growing from the experience because you're not there to experience it. So, Lynn B, the longer we stay away from, and Noah and the rest of you, and the lot of you, the longer we stay away from drinking and using other deadly drugs that numb and just take us into blackouts, then the longer we stay stunted, retarded, in all of the definition of the word retarded. Our emotions, our growth, our maturity has been retarded. And no, it's not easy. Sobriety, essentially, I've come to think is life. People that don't have the obsession to get intoxicated beyond oblivion live life every day and in turn grow and experience, and they have their problems. Every human being has faults, problems, battles, struggles. But those who do not numb themselves to them, or comfortably numb, that's right, Hillary May, comfortably numb, don't grow. Stay comfortable your entire life. You didn't grow, you know what I mean? Wait a second. If I stayed comfortable my entire life, I would be happy. That doesn't make any sense. Until you take into the account that being trapped in your comfort zone is no way to live. There will be no growth. There'll be no loss. I mean, there will be. The loss is that of your life. Lynn B says, I also try to focus on what I have that I wouldn't have if I had kept drinking. Word. You're in recovery. You're recovering gratitude. You're recovering clarity. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, then you'll be comfortable, Sigma says. That's very wise, Sigma. Now do it. More triggers for me. Sometimes I will try to, in sobriety, do something that I used to do for fun while I was drinking, like maybe go to a heavy metal concert. Well, in early sobriety, and maybe even still now, I don't know. There's the beer tent, and there is the fact that I've been to dozens of concerts, and only a handful were sober. I saw Ziggy Marley and the Wailers sober. That was pretty fun. I may have chiefed on the old reefies a little bit, but that was in a bar. And I didn't drink, and I had fun then. But that's a trigger, because I've been to dozens of concerts drinking, trashed, blackout drunk. It's a trigger. That's people, places, and things I used to do. Plus, well, I'd like to actually go sit down at a concert. I know that sounds funny, and I'm sure some of the music I would hear would have me standing, but I would like to go just watch a band perform. If hip hop's the key, then show me the lock. Yeah. You know what I've been thinking? Actually, the weird part about these streams is the second half of the stream, which is coming up in 2 minutes, usually accumulates more people. So, like, the irony of that is you have to go through the 30 minutes first to actually get more exposure. So to do a 30-minute podcast at 9:30, I've tried it, but it doesn't get exposed to as many people looking for the topic or whatever. But that's neither here nor thither. Last concert Lynn B went to was a while back, and it was Marilyn Manson. Did have one glass of wine when I went to that concert. Used extreme willpower to not have more because I wanted to make sure. When we're enjoying our drinking, we're not controlling it. And when we're controlling it, we're not enjoying it, and refer to it as extreme willpower. Yeah, that's a good concert to be sober for, Marilyn Manson. Well, not any concert, but I used to get toe up from the flow up at concerts. If there wasn't booze there, I would sneak it in and then get kicked out. My cousin got alcohol poisoning at a concert. We couldn't have been even 20 years old yet. Ambulance and everything. And then we just continued to party. Well, someone went to the hospital. I didn't. How about that? I was more concerned with staying and drinking than my cousin going to the hospital. But But I knew he was going to be all right. But I mean, no, I didn't. I didn't know that. I just thought that. What's up, Dave? Dave says, I found this channel today. You're a real inspiration. Been trying to come up with the courage to take the next step in life and think I'm finally ready. Thanks, bud. Well, I'm glad to hear you're ready. It's a pivotal moment in well, we have a lot of these pivotal moments in life, every human being, but especially in the alcoholic's world. To even learn that it's alcoholism and not just you not having a strong willpower or doing the wrong things, knowing that it's a disease of alcoholism is a relief to me. But welcome, Dave. I'm glad you're here. I do like Mumford's and Sons. I do. We should go see Mumford and Sons. Dave, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I drank 27 years, the last 10 of which, I could say 30 years, and for 15 of those, I've been kind of in recovery. So I don't drink. I haven't had a drink in a year and a half. I go to AA meetings to maintain what I need for sobriety and recovery. I've tried to not go to AA meetings and just not drink, and it doesn't work. And by going to AA meetings, I mean getting a sponsor, working the 12 steps, and then carrying the message to another alcoholic. And that's how I live. That is the only way that I've found to sustain happiness, joy, and freedom while, not drinking. So I'm happy to hear you've had a pivotal moment in your life, and you're doing the right thing. On this channel, we talk about things like this topic: triggers in addiction, triggers in substance abuse disorder. I've also had live streams every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m., by the way, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I've also just many topics on addiction. And having the knowledge is part of recovery. Applying it is another part. And maintaining it is yet another part. Cool. Mumford and Sons. I'm down. And we can be out like a fat kid in dodgeball. Well, everybody, I know I usually go for an hour. And I know that most of the viewers, for some reason or another, come in on the back half of that hour. But I've had a long day, and I have a early tomorrow. And I think I'm going to call it early tonight at 34 minutes. Night, Hillary May. Night to all of you. Dave, hang in there. Just do the next right thing. Is what I did. Just hang in there is all I could do at some points. Just don't drink. Just don't drink. Check out aa.org. Subscribe to this channel so you get notifications, but check out aa.org. aa.org is how I stay sober, and I've been a helpless, homeless, hopeless alcoholic before. I am an alcoholic. I don't drink because it will produce a phenomenon of craving. I don't drink alcohol. I maintain the obsession of the drink is check out aa.org. That's all I can say. And go to a meeting tomorrow. They're all around. If you don't like that meeting, you can go to another one. All the groups are different. AA principles remain the same, but all the groups have different vibes. That's how I do it. Hope to see you here next time, Dave and Ollians, Mondays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, keep it clean, keep it real, and keep doing the damn thing. Peace.